European Environment Agency, and the director of the agency will present to us the draft of the first ever report about risk assessment. So we'll dive into the adaptation policy. After that, we will receive the European Economic and Social Council to talk about just transition, that is, of course, a very, very important topic for us. And tomorrow, we will talk about circular economy, how to make the circular economy the way to have economy in Europe. And to begin the day today, we will receive a star, who is David van Reebrouck, a novelist, a famous Belgian novelist, but is also a specialist of democracy, how to broaden, how to make the democracy deeper in the frame of the transition, the climate transition. Thank you, and see you tomorrow for the press conference. Thank you.
Good morning. It's really great to be here. I'm Lena Ylönen from the European Environment Agency, and I'm here in this important meeting to present inter alia, our important work on the European climate risk assessment. It is a first of its kind. We are here not presenting yet the report itself, but the highlights of the results of our work. Of course, also the other topics, circular economy, how can we make it as a part of our work is really, our sustainability transition is really key to us. And also the just transition as a topic is really important for our sustainability transition. So really looking forward to interesting and lively discussions with the ministers. Thank you.
Sorry, can you tell us a little bit about those highlights from the report that you presented to the minister? What are they? Thank you.
Of course, I mean, we have now already a new climate reality in Europe. So the costs, the losses, lost lives, they're going to increase only if we don't already take measures to prepare our societies better for the new climate realities. So it is about the costs and how we can also then prepare our societies so that they are in time prepared for droughts, floods, forest fires, all these different risks. And this comprehensive report will be looking all types of risks and across the society, across the sectors, across the ecosystems as well.
Thank you.
I'm very glad to be here at our Informal Environmental Council meeting in cold but beautiful Belgium. One of the things I'd be looking for today is to pick up the momentum we got from COP28 in Dubai to think really now into the next two COPs. What do we as Europe do to seek higher ambition, to learn how we adapt and how we deliver a just transition, and also how we provide the financing we're going to need to make this happen. We did some good work in Dubai, but that's only the start. We need to pick up, make bigger, faster leap steps rather than just small steps. And that's what today is about.
Very happy to be in Brussels. We have to discuss here our climate ambitions, especially after the Dubai conference of COP28, which made very clear that we have to move out of fossil fuels. And we must discuss ambition target for 2040, 90% reduction and over 90%, not only because of the climate crisis, but also because that will give us a target that will definitely increase European competitiveness, because this is the only way we can drive technology, we can drive modernization of our industry. And contrary to many views, exactly with ambition climate targets, we can increase the technologies, because we're moving into a world of new technologies which are much more efficient, and we have to keep them in Europe and develop them in Europe. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you very much. I'm Patrick ten Brink. I'm the Secretary General of the European Environmental Bureau. We're a civil society network representing 180 civil society organizations across Europe and 30 million people. So first, I'd like to thank the Belgian presidency for putting these 3 items on the agenda, especially the social justice issue, but also climate adaptation and resilience and circular economy. Each of these 3 are fundamental. They've been progressed slightly in the first Green Deal, but we of course need to do a lot more. So it's particularly important that the Belgian presidency has put this on the agenda now, because we will need to go on. We will need to have a new pact for the future, a type of Green Deal 2, which integrates these 3 elements. So in terms of the Belgian presidency, we will really welcome them setting the scene for the future, but also clearly under the Green Deal now, the Belgian presidency has a lot of responsibilities. There's a short time period. There's been high political pressure against the number of files in the Green Deal, which has been trying to erode the Green Deal. So we really ask the Belgian presidency to focus on what the citizens need in advance the elections, focus on what Europe needs, and try to resist some of the political pressures trying to reduce the scope and ambition of the Green Deal. And like that, the Belgian presidency will leave a double legacy for Europe, one in its presidency and one for the future of the next 5 years.
The Commission next month will release its proposal, its communication about the 2040 climate target.
Yes.
What shall we focus on in this regard? What is important and what shall be the implications of it?
I think this target will be very, very important. I mean, we need to really make sure that we have a range of 90 to 95% greenhouse gas reductions by 2040. The science shows that it's possible. It's also essential if you look at the flooding, if you look at the sea level rises, and you look at the fires and so on. The prognosis has been there for Europe of having by 2050 between a 1.75 and a 3.75 degrees. So it's clearly important. We can't adapt to 3.75. So we really need to mitigate. So anything we can do for the 2040 target. So one thing is the target itself, and the other thing is the enabling mechanisms to make it work. Because of course the target is great, but you need to make it possible. So in December last year, there had been a promise of a heat pump action plan, but this has been dropped. And it was supposed to come out in this quarter. So we really request that ministers think again, that the Commission thinks again, and the ministers push that this action plan gets there. Because this is one example of a win-win, where if you invest in heat pumps, you actually save emissions, you create jobs, you support industry, and you also save money for the households. So it's a quadruple win. There's of course other issues, but that's probably one very concrete one that's useful.
You said there is a need for a Green Deal 2 or
Yes.
second version after 2024. What is missing from the current one that needs to be included in the future of all Green Deal 2?
Sure. I mean, there's 2 answers to that. I mean, first of all, I mean, one key issue is the social dimension. In the Green Deal 2, which we think is a new pact for the future of Europe, has to have the social dimension at heart. The current transition is an ecological one, but we need an social ecological one. That is at heart, so that's why it's particularly welcome that there's been this issue on the table under the Belgian presidency in the Informal. Under the last Green Deal, we had the Social Climate Fund, but that itself is good, but it's not enough. I mean, we need it much more than end of pipe. We need something integrated. So this is, at one level, it's about investment and in building renovation, restoration for households, reflecting the needs of the poor deciles in the community. How can they actually be part of it? Now, there is a bit of a backlash in some areas against some issues of climate. Some of this is instrumentalized. But to address this, you need to make sure that, that all parties of the community are part of the solution. And for that, we need to look how can we support their ability to pay. And there's certain elements that are important. One is, of course, subsidizing what they can do, but the other is also thinking about labor tax reductions, maybe minimum wages. We need to have a case where, for all citizens, the sustainable choice becomes the easy choice. So this is one core part that needs to be in a Green Deal too. There's others. We already saw, for example, recently that the REACH revision has been dropped, the sustainable food system has been dropped. We've seen a weakening of many areas. So there's a lot of gaps. There's also areas where there's barriers that need to be addressed, and there's also areas where the ambition is not enough, just like your question on the 2040 vision. So all of these things together, we'll need to keep going. And then it also has to be a whole of the community approach, not just that. So they also need a global dimension and global diplomacy as well as national diplomacy to make sure this is a solution for everyone. Okay.
Morning, everyone. Very good to see you. Delighted to be here in Egmont Palace. Very much looking forward to the Belgian presidency. The Spanish presidency has been a huge success, and I'm also very much impressed by all the preparations and all the work the Belgian presidency has already done, focusing on some of the major topics in the realm of climate action. Adaptation is very much of a point of focus. Just transition, tremendously important, not only to the presidency, but to the European Union as a whole. And of course, we're going to have a very good, I'm sure, very fruitful discussion on 2040 today. So I'm very much looking forward to today, and I'm also very much looking forward to the 6 months ahead of us.
Commissioner, there was news this weekend that John Kerry is leaving his post. What's your reaction to that, and what does it mean for international climate diplomacy?
Secretary Kerry has done a truly amazing job at the COP, but also in the months and years prior to the COP. And he has an international record in terms of climate action, but of course also in terms of foreign affairs that is second to none. And I have found it a tremendous privilege and a tremendous joy to work so closely together with him.
Commissioner, how much support is there for 90 to 95% target for 2040?
What is crystal clear all across the Union is that there is no alternative than to respect the red lines of the planet. They're not my red lines, they're not the red lines of the Commission, they're not the red lines of any individual minister. It is simply what the planet tells us to do. Having said that, what is tremendously important going forward is that we continue to stand on two legs. And the one leg is the one of climate action and the one of ambition. And the other leg is the leg of making sure our businesses stay competitive, there is a just transition, and there is a bright future for everyone on the continent, particularly also those who might be worried for what this might mean for their jobs and their livelihood. And if we manage to bridge these two things, if we manage to bring those two things together, I'm absolutely positive we can see this through. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Urszula Zielińska. I'm the Deputy Minister of Climate of the new government in Poland. And I'm very happy to join here for this informal council meeting for environment today in Brussels. And I want to emphasize that I'm coming here with the message of Poland stepping up its efforts on fight with climate change, stepping up our efforts on adaptation and resilience building. Poland has seen, as well as the rest of Europe and the rest of the world, in fact, increasing threats, increasing dangers from climate change, from climate crisis. In fact, the multiple crises that are surrounding us are very much joined by this thread of climate crisis underpinning them. And this is something we really must step our efforts to address. And this is what I really want. This is the message I'm bringing with me from the new government in Poland to Brussels today. We will step up our efforts and cooperate with European Union from now on, much faster, much smoother, in a much more confident way. And yes, I'm really looking forward to those conversations. I'm looking forward to meet my counterparts from other European members and to plan how we tackle the one single most important challenge we all face in Europe.
Sorry, can you tell me whether Poland is ready to support a 90% emissions reduction target? And how do you expect the discussion to go today?
We absolutely need to embrace ambitious targets, and we need to embrace the 90% emission reduction target. We do need to do it in a constructive way, looking after the social aspects. And this is the message I will be bringing to the table. We need more country evidence-based data that is evidence-based per single country so we can plan. We need to know exactly where we will be by 2030, whether we will achieve our goals. But one is absolutely clear. We really need to accelerate. We cannot go on like this. Europe or the rest of the world, we're not meeting the safe climate targets right now. So we have to step up, and we will. As Poland, we're in it together, and really the rest of Europe can count on Poland to step up our efforts on this.
Sorry, just to clarify, you do support a 90% reduction?
We are cautiously approaching it, very constructively. We will be doing everything to achieve this target. If this target is agreed, we will be at the same time emphasizing the need to help countries like Poland, like many countries in Central Eastern Europe, to look after the social part of delivering such ambitious target. So that's what I will be discussing with ministers today.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick follow-up question. Do you think Poland might finally sign up to climate neutrality in 2050?
Sorry, could you just repeat the question?
Might Poland sign up to climate neutrality in 2050?
I think the climate neutrality 2050 is an obvious goal we need to meet as Poland and as the rest of Europe, in fact. And we need to deliver our share. So I will be very much campaigning and persuading all of the rest of the government, and I think we're heading in that direction. The commitments of Europe are the commitments of Poland, and we have committed to reduce emissions by to become climate neutral by 2050. This is what the science is telling us we must do. So we will be delivering our share as the membership country in Europe.
Minister, there's been pushback against some green policies in some governments in the European Parliament. So what is your response to this kind of pushback on green measures, and are you confident that other countries share your view that we should accelerate climate action?
We need to listen to the arguments behind the pushbacks, because very often they are very solid social arguments. We need to make sure that the transition from coal-based country like mine is a just transition. We cannot leave people behind, and this is of particular concern to Poland as well. And so we also have a lot of people who are just concerned, and we're moving into unknown territory, so we have to make every effort, also as institutions, as countries, as member countries, to take people along with us and to really put them at ease and to prove and show that green energy is today cheaper energy than energy sourced from coal or gas as well. And we have to move away, because it's also causing us creating cost everywhere, and it's creating health issues, and it's just sheer danger to us. So we have to listen carefully to these concerns. We have to take people on board, and we, as the new government in Poland, are absolutely prepared to do so, and we will be really making sure that we don't leave anyone behind in our transition efforts away from fossil fuels to green energy and to neutral Europe.
Poland has been against a proposal from the Commission to relax the rules on gene-edited crops, for example, for climate resilience purposes. I would like to know what is your position on that, given that Poland is the country that can, let's say, tip the scales on this topic.
Poland needs to is very cautious in this area because we need to look after also the farming in Poland, and we need to make sure there is no oligopoly forming, there is no advantages that we cannot access, there are no technologies that we cannot access. So we're remaining cautious and discussing further. It needs further work, I think.
So the position might change, or
I wouldn't want to say that just yet, just because it's all fresh and new for the new government. So we're really in the process of also re-looking at our positions in many places, and I just want to stay cautious here, if you allow. Thank you.
Just one last question. You said that climate neutrality by 2050 is something that the new government wants to aspire to meet. Does that mean that you're going to review the coal exit, for example, and set earlier dates?
We are currently in the process of reviewing policies that concern climate and transition and energy plans. Yes, we are in the process of very fast-paced updates of our strategic national plans for energy and climate, for example. So it's all under revision and with a view to step up the efforts, but also to secure the people who may be most impacted, so the industries as well, to make sure that the industries are really smoothly transition into new green branches, and we're not leaving them behind, and we're not impacted economically. So yes, we are fast-paced revising strategic policies on this.
Would you hope to set an end date for coal power in Poland?
I believe we must, and we must do it very soon, because only with an end date we can plan, and only with an end date industry can plan and people can plan. So yes, absolutely, we will be looking to set an end date.
Would it be 2040 earlier?
If you allow me to, if you bear with us for another 6 months, where we have this to really finalize the updates and changes. But one thing is sure, we are accelerating and stepping up, and Poland is on board with climate efforts with the rest of Europe.
So we're looking at coal phase-out deadline stipulated in the National Energy and Climate Plan.
There must be, yes, I will put all my efforts to make sure that there is a coal end deadline in those strategic documents. Yes. Thank you.
Wir spüren die Folgen der Klimakrise auch hier in Europa immer deutlicher. Gerade die Hochwasser der letzten Wochen und auch die Dürren und Waldbrände der letzten Sommer haben das noch mal deutlich gezeigt. Daher müssen wir intensiver Vorsorge betreiben gegen die Folgen der Klimakrise, um die Menschen und unsere natürlichen Lebensgrundlagen zu schützen. Daher freue ich mich sehr, dass die belgische Präsidentschaft dieses wichtige Thema prominent auf die Tagesordnung gesetzt hat. In Deutschland haben wir gerade Ende letzten Jahres ein Klimaanpassungsgesetz beschlossen. Danach müssen künftig bei allen Planungen die Folgen der Klimakrise berücksichtigt werden und vor Ort auch Klimaanpassungskonzepte gemacht werden. Damit europaweit die Klimaanpassung und die Vorsorge auch in der Praxis gelingt, muss sich das auch angemessen im mehrjährigen Finanzrahmen widerspiegeln. Nur so können wir unsere Bevölkerung schützen und auch künftige Schäden so gering wie möglich halten.
Bei diesem Umwelt- und Klimarat geht es auch um die nächsten Schritte beim europäischen Klimaschutz. Wir haben mit dem Green Deal in Europa wirklich weltweit Durchbrechendes erreicht. Das muss jetzt umgesetzt werden. Darauf liegt der Fokus. Wir wissen, es ist eines, europäische Gesetze zu beschließen. Das andere ist, dass überall in den Kommunen, in den Unternehmen, in den Haushalten, über die Mitgliedstaaten das auch tatsächlich umgesetzt wird. Aber nichtsdestotrotz, der Planet brennt und das bedeutet, die Ziele, die wir uns für 2030 gesetzt haben, das genügt nicht. Deshalb reden wir jetzt auch über die nächsten Schritte für die nächste Europäische Kommission und die Klimaziele bis 2040. Das Bundesverfassungsgericht hat Deutschland selbst strenge Ziele aufgegeben. Das entspricht, wenn man netto rechnet, einem Minderungsziel von 91% bis 2040. Das ist auch der Maßstab, mit dem wir auf die europäische Zielsetzung schauen, auch wenn es noch keine quantitative Festlegung der Bundesregierung gibt. Wir hören aus der Europäischen Kommission eine Minderungsambition von mindestens 90%. Und das werden wir hier diskutieren und insbesondere damit über die Sektoren, wo der europäische Klimaschutz noch nicht so hart greift, etwa die Bereiche der Industrie mit schwer zu vermeidenden CO2-Emissionen. Da geht es darum, die industrielle Wertschöpfung in Europa zu halten, nicht gegen die ökologische Transformation, sondern indem wir entsprechend einen förderlichen Rahmen bereitstellen. Dazu gehört auch die Entnahme von CO2 und Speicherung, und auch das wird hier auf dem Umweltrat diskutiert.
Sogar die polnische Ministerin hat uns gerade gesagt, dass sie möglicherweise ein 90%-Ziel unterstützen können. Aber Sie können uns sagen, ob Deutschland 90% unterstützen kann?
Also wir haben hier eine klare Reihenfolge. Der wissenschaftliche Beirat der EU-Kommission hat ja bis zu 95% empfohlen. Die EU-Kommission legt einen Vorschlag vor und dann sagen die Mitgliedstaaten, wie sie dazu stehen. Ich halte nichts davon, dass man immer so tut, als wenn gerade aus den großen Mitgliedstaaten der Takt schon vorgegeben wird. Aber wir haben unseren eigenen Beitrag ja geleistet. Durch die deutsche Minderungsziele, die wir auch verankert haben, von minus 91%, zeigt ja wir als größtes Mitgliedstaat, welche Ambitionen wir haben. Und die Ambition wird nicht politisch gesetzt, sondern durch die Grenzen des Planeten und die Interessen der zukünftigen Generationen, hier noch leben zu können. Okay, let's go.
Good morning to everyone. We are very glad to be here in the name of Hungary, and we thank the presidency for choosing two very interesting topics for today's event. We are devoted to find common solutions to the climate change, because it is a very big topic for the whole continent. Greenhouse gas emissions in Hungary has been reduced by 37% since 1990. In the meantime, reaching a five-fold economic growth. So we think it is a topic which has to be addressed together, and we think that we have to find realistic solutions in order to reach the results we would like. We think that in order to reach the 2050 targets, it is essential to have 2040 targets set, but we would like to see the proposal, and we are ready to read all the country reports in the impact assessment reports of the Commission. And as we consider this question to be so important, both for the society and for the economy, we think that the final decisions shall be taken in the level of the European Council. We would like to highlight that we think that appropriate funding is necessary in order to reach the results we strive for, and we think that national specificities have to be taken into consideration. And we would like to thank the Belgian presidency for handling the just transition questions as a priority. As it concerns the second topic of this event, we think that circular economy is a very important issue, and we think that this is also a topic where we have to find balanced solutions, and we're looking forward to discussions of today. Thank you very much.
Minister, during your presidency, will you continue to push ahead with the Green Deal? Are you still striving for high ambitions?
We think that we're going to have a lot of topics left for us during our presidency, but we hope that the Belgian presidency can finish as many files as possible from the Green Deal.
Would you support a 90% emissions reduction target by 2040?
We are of the view that realistic results have to be taken for 2040. So we are very proud of the results that we have already achieved, but we think that we have to really find good solutions. Balance is the key issue, because the good results can only be reached if everybody's in it. So this is a topic where we have to cooperate and work together, everybody, the member states, the citizens, the economy, and the complete society. Therefore, we would like to see realistic and achievable targets for 2040 as well.
And what would a realistic and achievable target be?
Well, that will be, we would like to see first the proposal. Please find the proposal first, and then after the proposal we can discuss upon it. But I'm certain that, so we're going to find a solution together.
Is the EU doing enough to address the social and economic concerns related to the Green Deal?
We hope that Europe and the European Union is going to see what the optimal results and the optimal solutions may be. This is a very, very big and very difficult issue everywhere on the continent, and we are convinced that we are such a vast continent. We are in very different situations, all the 27 of us, and we are firm that we can't have out-of-the-box solutions for each and every one of us. So we really have to take into consideration the different climates, the different economic situations, the different societies, in order to find the optimal solutions for all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you to all.